Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to more Nexus Gaming Series. I am, as usual, Tetcher, and as usual, joining me in person. My mic's the wrong way around. I'll fix that in a second. It is Jinxeekatt. Hello. Let's tell everybody about the match we're doing today. Well, I swapped my mic to the right side.
Yeah, definitely. Hi, guys. We have a wonderful Division B East or B West, excuse me, game for you this evening. Die Gaming versus Caffeinated Knights. We're super excited. I have a couple of stats pulled up right here. Die Gaming is currently seated number 10th in the division, and Caffeinated Knights are number 3, with the points being 18 to 3 respectively. A couple of dominations out from Die Gaming. We have 2 over on their side, and Caffeinated Knights have 4. So it's been a really hard-fought series for both of these teams. And I was just talking with Taco yesterday about how some people don't like to bring up when there is a large discrepancy between the teams. But there's one thing that I've learned from NGS teams. It's that the seedings don't really matter. And even if you do have something like 3 to 10, the games are always usually very close and very exciting to watch. So I always like to talk about it just a little bit, talk about the points so everyone knows where the teams are. But that doesn't mean that we're not going to go for some exciting games this evening.
It does indeed. However, looks like they're heading into the draft already, but we have a couple seconds, so let's quickly jump over to... Okay, they saw my message. Give us 1 minute to talk about maps, because I'm going to show you how we got here as we head over to the map screen. And as you can see here, band-wise, Die Gaming removed out Battlefield of Eternity. Where are their logos? I'll fix that. Battlefield of Eternity and Brax's Holdout, whereas Caffeinated Knights, they removed Sky, Temple, and Tomb of the Spider Queen.
Super excited. Our very first match of the evening is going to be Cursed Hollow, as Tetcher just said. I love Cursed Hollow. It is one of my favorite maps in the entire game. It was one of the first maps. I think back in technical alpha, you could data mine the game and play, and there were only 5 playable heroes at the time or something like that.
That is correct. It was the first map that existed in the game. It, like you said, even before technical alpha, in the leaked alpha, it was the only one you could get onto. So it would always be Reyna, Hammer, and a couple ETC. Those the 3 heroes you could play. ETC is the first one I played. I mean, I didn't play in the leaked alpha. That would be naughty. Definitely not. I don't have an exclamation mark for that yet, Zotti, but hello! Feels good. Alright, letting players know we are good. Good are when you are. Feels
Perfect.
Good. Alrighty, back to us, ladies and gentlemen, as we are going to be ready to head into game number 1 very shortly. Like Dixie said, it's going to be Cursed Hollow, and it looks like we're going to be heading into the draft, ladies and gentlemen. It's game number 1 of this best of 3 series between Die Gaming and Caffeinated Knights. No long video because I have stingers up and I haven't worked out how to differentiate the two between each other. However, we are into the draft. It's going to be Caffeinated Knights with first pick and first ban.
You can have one, but not the other. All right, Division B West. Pretty high-ranked players in this division. So, begs the question, are we going to see more meta picks banned away, or are we going to see more respect bans? I know at NGS, all the teams get pretty close, and then instead of seeing, your typical Zol, Johanna, ETC, some other meta hero, Zeratul or something, you're like, why is Gaslow banned? And then they let it through game 3, and you're like, oh, that's why.
Absolutely. You can always see those comfort picks, those private picks. For example, most pro games, Samuro very rarely banned out against your team all the time. And that's what we like to see here. We like to see some focuses. For now, we're starting off with something that is an unusual focus. Diablo getting removed here. He wasn't one of the heroes who got changed in the patch notes, if I remember correctly.
No, they left the Lord of Terror to rot where he is because he's unfun to play against and nobody likes him.
Big oofs. He's one of the most fun heroes to cast, though, in my opinion. Going to see Ana taken out as well. Probably the second most powerful support, although it's pretty close. It really depends on team styles, which one is more priority. Tank choke from Caffeinated Knights. Maybe a support choke from Die Gaming.
Oh, we could definitely see it. It depends really where the strengths of the teams lie. ETC is available, and with Caffeinated Knights having that first pick, they could look to pick that up as their very first option. Thank you. You guys can't see it, but Tetcher's fixing my mic because he does every single game because I haven't learned yet.
Ruining the illusion. It's also really hard to see. It's quite hard to notice whether your mic's the right height or not. I usually just put my finger to the side of my lip and move it to the side to tell. Otherwise, I can never tell. Lucio, unusual ban here.
Ah, looks like they are going for the support choke. There must be a really strong support on the side of Caffeinated Knights. Or sorry, excuse me. Yes, Caffeinated Knights, who also pick up the ETC, as I predicted.
J-How, hello, J-How and Zotti. How are you doing, buds? As we see Muradin Uther as the first 2 pickups.
That's beefy
unusual.
Step up right out the gate. So, you think this is an Uther solo support fresh out the gate, or you think it's an off-lane Uther?
I mean, the fact is, the joy of this hero is they can be flexible with this. Now, it's more than likely to be an off-lane Uther because solo support Uther is rough. But we did see it played successfully earlier, so maybe there's a chance we'll see it as the support. However, with Zool on the board, I think that auto-attack Uther with that stun cooldown reduction might be even more important, even though he does get neutered a bit by Zool due to the attack speed slow. But being able to lock him down and just please stop swinging on him is going to be very effective. So there's a chance here.
Zool does fall a little bit in priority on this map just because it is so large. But still excited to see what he can do. Those skeletons provide excellent push, especially during the curse phases, and they help out a little bit if your team does get cursed because they can kind of deal with those big minions while your forts are deactivated. Kale Thoth coming out as a BN from Die Gaming. Do not want to deal with that flamey boy.
Plenty of flame is taken away here. We still have other flame options. Deathwing is so far untouched in this draft. Diablo, however, is removed, so a little bit less flames there. I know, right? First 2 picks, Uther Muradin. It's a 2016. Weedus, thank you very much for the sub. Very appreciated. As Samuro, he does make it into the bans here. And Weedus with the 69 bits as well. Thank you.
Thanks, Weenus. It's good to see you.
Good to see you indeed. Man, we got all the cool people in today. Let's see what we get next here. Samura taken out. We see Vala. That definitely leans towards hypercarry Vala. So this could be a solo ranged Vala, which is the more standard style here, with Uther as a sort of pseudo offlane, a rotator here, where he just goes for maybe auto attack build or shock build, perhaps, for harassment, and then we get a more main support later on. Otherwise, this might be weird, and we might see Zarya to make up for that extra protective potential.
They definitely have a plan. I don't know what it is. They've got a plan. And it could be anyone, like you said. Hanzo and Kira coming out a very heavy melee team from Caffeinated Knights. Excited to see what they can do with that. Kira and Hanzo and ATC, that's very dive heavy with Zool to protect the Anduin in the back is something we could definitely see. We could also see, if we wanted, ATC flex into the offline with the main tank Zool. They have a lot of variety here on the side of Caffeinated Knights.
They do. Triple melee from both teams so far. The question is Die Gaming with their maybe support, maybe second range. It is. It's Tyrande. I was right on both, as it turns out. As Tyrande makes her way in, new and improved? Question mark. We don't know yet. It's going to be one of our first times seeing her in play. So, but they are going for that hyper carry Valor with that double support style. Ragnaros for map control here, and Muradin, the biggest, beefiest of tanks in terms of hit point pools, with Johanna taken away. The best option for them for a tank who can actually be independent. He can't heal too well, but hopefully with the stuns of Uther Tyrande, they won't need it.
Alrighty, looking at these teams right now, Tetcher, who are you giving it to?
The Kira Zool ETC is a snowball and a half, but I have a personal rule of very rarely voting against Hypercarry Vala unless we see a lot of dive. And in this case, ETC is really the only dive on the side of Caffeinated Knights here. They do have a lot of CC, but I don't think they have a lot of actual go-in potential. And the fact is, potential for 2 cleanses on the side of Die Gaming with Uther Cleanse, the Hand of Protection, of course, and Tyrande's Celestial Attunement later on. They have 2 ways to get rid of it, so I'm currently leaning towards Die. How about you, as we are getting ready to introduce the teams?
If you're getting ready to look at these teams, I really think Caffeinated Knights has it. I really like the Zool. I really like the Kira, I think the ETC will provide a ton of disruption, and that knockback is so detrimental to a Meridian jump. I really think that Caffeinated Knights have won this draft. Honestly, I'm just going to come out and say it. I could be totally wrong. I've been wrong about everything else this season.
We will see. We've both been on a different team here, and you did not follow through on telling me to swap back the inverted camera.
Oh, swap back the inverted camera, please.
Thank you. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. We're on the way. Die Gaming are on the left. Caffeinated Knights on the right. Ooh, they dodged the owl. That's
GG,
a bit unusual.
More room that Caffeinated Knights is going to win. You don't hit the owl, you don't win. That's just the facts.
It is a usual case here. Oh my god, what is this? We're starting with Lunar Blaze and Wave of Light here. Now, the armor talent at level 20 got buffed on Uther as they stun. Easy kill onto Hanzo. Leap of Faith just shuts down Zul. Double kill as they pick up Kira as well. And Anduin pulled out the melee, left the ranges behind. And they pick up the first blood, the second blood, and an absolutely strong position coming in right now for Die Gaming.
Guys, you're not making me look good right now. Teams are going to spread off to their lanes, everybody getting ready for those camps that will be spawning in just 15 seconds. And one thing that we've been seeing a lot of that I learned last night is actually the standard. Supposedly, when you're in comms with a 5-man team, last wave build from Ragnaros.
Ah, see, I did not know this. I also don't see Ragnaros that often outside of NGS, so that fair enough. If that is the standard, good to know. He's going to have to be careful, though. Stormbolt does not land from Glitterbeard. By the way, most appropriate hero for this name. Makes a lot of sense here. But he's going to have to be careful with that engulfing flame and third wind for Muradin. They're going to have to get a little close, but Uther can now stay a bit further back, but they're against Backlash coming in from Zul. That 12% max health damage could be very risky if they don't play around it well enough.
And we see Zul bullying in Glitterbeard right now. Uther comes out. Zul has to back away. And you know, this wave of light tells me on Uther, just as we're talking about the talents, it's that it's not going to be an offlane Uther. He's going to try and want to be with the team as much as he can so we can try and get the maximum damage onto those heroes and onto healing his team.
We'll keep an eye on that to potentially just... Oh, okay, but that's different, though. So we've just committed to that idea. We suddenly see Holy Fire. Very uncommon talent coming in for Uther here. A little bit of extra DPS in the fights, though. But it's good. This is very much double support, hyper carry Valor with that extra stun potential that Uther and Tyrande offer. They're just going very stun, heavy, aggressive. It's a cool idea.
I can definitely see it get the extra damage, and this could actually just very well be a damage Uther. I don't know a whole lot about Crazerus. I haven't seen many of the games from Div B West, but it's not out of the realm of possibilities. We saw it in Europe for a little while, and now everybody just trying to get the soak up before they head to that very final, or second, where they have to go and head down to that first tribute of the game.
Tribute being picked. Scout was done into the camp, but they already knew this was happening anyway. Both teams know what's going on here. Tyrande bringing out that everlasting light. Big heals. Not go for the classic multi-auto attack heals, but auto attacks be damned. That's a Creed of the Hunter coming in for Valor. Chad build online. He's looking for stacks right now as in comes Kira. Who's a little bit slow on the walk back to set that up for a potential counter kill, but Valor already beginning to stack.
I'm excited to see what Vala can do with this. We have a joke over in the Gilly Sharks. This is called the publicly shame yourself build. If you get to 10 minutes into the game and you have like 18 stacks, that means you've auto-attacked a hero 10 minutes. ETC taking a ton of damage, has to use that mic check to go ahead and back away. He goes and slides in, though, a ton of damage coming out. The meatball chasing him down. And this should be the first tribute with 77 health on Zul going over to Die Gaming. Unless...
The Timmy, thank you very much for the sub as we see Saiyan with the swing. He's going for the attempt. It's the second time that we've seen Osmond look to save the day, but he cannot do it this time as we finally see Kira drop and we finally see that tribute being picked up by Die Gaming. But so far, Osmond is in an amazing set, has been playing amazingly right now and has been saving the life of his team many times with these power slides as level 7 is hit. And we are seeing blistering attacks and Skullcracker.
Lots of CC for Die Gaming, and they're just looking to lock down everyone. I mean, we've said it 100 times. Armor of Faith, however, coming out from Uther, and then is Arsenal typical of shame yourself build?
Well, not usually. The usual talent is the death dealer, the extra roll critical damage. The idea here is to attack Q, attack E, and get the crit damage, and you kill people that way. However, this could be a kill. Nope, Leap of Faith will save the day. This does offer you a little bit of wave clear that you're missing otherwise. They only really have Ragnaros to fill in for that. And more importantly, it means you're not wasting your roll for damage when you could use it for escape. So they're actually playing this a little safer here, as we will see Ragnaros killed off. No way he's getting out of there. This is a more sensible version of a less than common build.
Definitely makes sense. It should be going over to Caffeinated Knights, seeing as Ragnaros was picked off. That would put Die Gaming in a 4v5, but it looks like Vala is going to try and get as much poke as she can. The rest of the team heading up as well. They want to take this. Ragnaros is about 30 seconds behind. Nice owl to interrupt Harbor him.
They need to do it once more, though, and they're being zoned away, but Kira may fall in exchange for this. Glitterbeer tags through. Saya dropped low. They might be able to move forward to get the kill, but they give up. Ragnaros is just a little bit too late. They let that go. And Tirana, by the way, yet to pick her level 7, so they were being a lot more cautious with this. Both teams, though, still brawling around this area, though, maybe looking for a fight.
I have got to give it to this Tyrande player. They are doing an absolutely exponential job at hitting these raw stuns. 10 Lunar Blazes in 5 minutes. And look at that. They just see it. They don't need the Uther or Muradin setup or even the Ragnaros. They just go in. Yeah. They deal the big damage. I'm very excited as this progresses later what will become of the Tyrande stuns.
As am I. I'm also continuing to be excited about this Uther build. We've talked about it so much already, but let's dive into it a little bit more here. This is maximum armor build coming out right now with the maximum cooldown reduction on Wave of Light combos with the Talent Slater on for stacking armor up at level 20. Gives you incredible armor and healing potential in the late game, but you've got to live long enough. And of course, this Armor of Faith, you miss out on Cleanse, which is a very big deal. Gecko! Oh no, oh yes, Gecko! He's gonna get out of there. Scatter comes out, they're gonna look for the kill. Hanzo should be able to leave. Nice jump there, he will survive. But the idea here is just maximize the amount of armor on Vala and just let her do her job. Keep her hyper carrying. We're going to see Lava Wave clearing out bot lane, as we do see Die Gaming moving into position.
We did see Vala have to snap pick that Rain of Vengeance, however. That will hurt her DPS output a little bit, but not as much as Kira going down for the 4th time this game. ETC pulled away, and the team will most likely have to give this one up. And it's just been a constant who can get the pick from these teams. Whoever gets the pick grabs the tribute, and I think they're doing a fantastic job. Tribute is picked up. Looking at level 10s, they're going to go ahead and bully this camp away from Caffeinated Knights. Anything in particular catch your eye, Tetcher?
Dragon Arrow comes out here, so that immediately catches my eye as it comes the light bomb. Moshpit interrupted, though. Easy turnaround. They took that fight before Kira got there. Kira's going to get the knockback, but going to be taken out as well. Divine Storm for funsies, as Kira is absolutely doomed. And Viven will back away and will survive. Uther is stacked. And we saw some of the talents I wanted to call out there. We are going to be seeing that Divine Storm. It is going in for even more stuns. Starfall, the more standard talent. Rip Rag gets stunned because he was also rooted. Gets absolutely dunked on. But talents I want to talk about here. Normal is the Skeletal Mages. That's fine, although we have seen Tank Stalls go for the Poison over for extra healing. But we see Unrelenting Strikes. They're going for a stun wombo combo here with Dragon Arrow, Light Bomb, Unrelenting Strikes, and Mosh Pit. But they have to be able to execute it. Good bird once again with that Sentinel to interrupt, and Tyranda's going to be incredibly annoying here. Hydra Hawk looking good already.
Nobody checked that book, so she's going to get another auto interrupt, and then she's just going to walk away. Out comes Caffeinated Knight, 2 big stuns, but he didn't grab Tyrande. The stun is back up, so he's going to go down. Light Bomb comes out, and it hits 3 members of the game. Krazer is looking very low. Out comes the arrow, and the Kira stun connects as well. Muradin in desperate need to get out, gets the jump. He is rooted, however, with 300 health, and it looks like Caffeinated Knights are going to go ahead and finish them off.
Molten Core was dropped in that fight, but they were already down a member. Is doing a lot of damage, though. Lava Wave dropped as well. In the meantime, by the way, Boss Siege Siege Giant still going. Ragnaros is still interrupting. He's stopping ports. He's interrupting the channel. Owl for miss, in this case, will not land. But already so much value gained in his top lane, cleaning that out. Massively dominating there, picking off both towers. Easily done. And that is both towers on the keep in exchange for a tribute. Both teams up to 2-2. They were looking for him.
Low has to back out.
They wanted the kill. Unable to get it. Those level 13s are available. Seeing standard healing static coming in for the Muradin. Resilient Flame for the Ragnar. So it's not a full Blast Wave build here. We see the blessed champion, Uther, really wants to get stuck in, and this will, of course, synergize very well with this Holy Fire. He's going for battle support. The idea here that the more damage he's doing, the better he's healing his team. And it's a cool idea. And glue. More standard, prevent Valor from exploding.
I've never seen the battle support Uther,
Me
so
neither.
I think they're doing a really nice job, though. That fight lasted a little bit longer on that tribute than I think Caffeinated Knights was intending. The Dragon Arrow comes out, but there's not a whole lot of follow-up, as it wasn't a phenomenal pick, only grabbing 2 members. And now Caffeinated Knights have a choice. Do they want to grab this boss and this cap that are going to be pushing out onto their forts, or do they look for the tribute?
Zul, now Rapid Harvest, he's at full tank mode, but that's huge damage, he's taken out. Light Bomb, though, with Unrelenting Strikes, that's the combo they're looking for, as they eat everything in their way. That's a massacre. That's exactly what we've been looking for Caffeinated Knights. They pick up what is going to be a triple kill right now in exchange for just Zul, and they will get the first curse of the game.
You know, I didn't quite understand the Unrelenting Strikes. So the last 2 fights have shown me its value. I thought, this is going to be kind of a you know, with the mosh, but you can't auto-attack while it's activated. I didn't think it was going to do a whole lot, but just the follow-up CC after CC after CC. They didn't even have mosh pit in that fight, and now it's going to be up to take another fight later on in the game, so really nicely done by Caffeinated Knights.
It's a big deal for them. They let that boss push all the way in. It takes out 1 tower, but it will not push any further. Towers and minions will finish that off. Meantime, they already grabbed a fort down in bot lane. Now they're moving up to mid lane. However, Lava Wave will prevent any minions coming in with them. So with the damage, here it comes, though. The mosh, as you called, and Light Bomb, and Dragon Arrow. Every single stun. Unrelenting Strikes for good measure. But that is going to be 2 kills in exchange for every single heroic from the side of Caffeinated Knights. Gotta wonder how much of a problem this might be later on in the game, but they grabbed their second fort for it, and top lane ain't looking too good either, as minions will continue to push in. They aren't unable to make it here in time to interrupt the camp take, though.
I've always said, if you use your ultimate and you get a kill, it's worth it. So hopefully that'll be worth for them. This 3v2 means that the Siege Giants are going to not go over to the side of Caffeinated Knights. Looks like it was picked up, and they just went ahead and cleared that super quickly. But now they've turned their sights on this top fort, and looks like it will go down. Absolutely no problem, with no one really to defend. The team is showing up.
Valor cleans it up. Actually, they don't want to fight it, despite the fact they have a member up, but they don't have any of their heroics. They choose to back away and leave that. Zul with weakened now. They have to be even more careful fighting around him. Imposing Presence, we already saw it being used on Valor as she was cleaning up there. And now we finally have that Celestial Attunement for Valor. That is their only cleanse now. And Benediction, Uther still getting stuck in there, and Valor, Frost Shots, interestingly enough. They're adding in some slows there as the Kira going to go very deep. Multi-stun, Dragon Arrow again. It's happening every single time. But this time, battle support, Uther tanking through. He's holding them in it, Jinxie. As Glindabeard is taken out, though. They held for a long-ass time, but they are going to be picked off here. You can see Gecko, he's desperately trying to hold them together, but he can't do it without help, and he'll have to retreat here. That's a 4-for-0 right now.
Caffeinated Knights are absolutely dominating in this late game, and that's kind of the issue with double support right now, is it's very strong early, but if you don't make something out of that early game, you kind of struggle as far as damage. Vala's doing a ton, but she can't do it by herself, and with beefy members like Kira, Zul, and ETC, no pun intended, it is really hard to try and kill somebody if you can't get on top of that Hanzo or Anduin. And with ETC knocking people back, Kira with the stuns, and Hanzo with the stuns, it's so hard to dive that back line.
I understand the issues they are having. You've got to wonder, was not picking Cleanse, was not picking Divine Shield the right choice here? In the early game, that Divine Storm picks them up a kill. But right now, the biggest issue they're having is they are getting stun-locked in AoE. And they are a team that kind of requires being grouped together. This is a big issue for them. They're going to lose this tribute. They're nowhere near a curse. We do have a quick pause, so we will jump back to us. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll ask you that question, but you got to wonder. They are currently being stun-locked, and that is the issue with this composition. Is the lack of the Hand of Protection and the Divine Shield too much of an issue for them right now?
I don't think that it's too much of an issue, but it's definitely posing its problems. So I think what we do, Viv is pinging out at EU levels, just making sure that everybody understands what's going on. We'll bring you all the information that we know, but they've got to bait out this combo. They've got to look for picks on the enemy team. They've got to do something because right now taking a 5v5 just isn't viable. I mean, look at the siege potential you have with the Vala, with the Ragnaros. You can get a lot done on the map. Maybe instead of looking to team fight, the team should consider taking camps and going from there. If they see somebody off clearing the camp by themselves, go and pick it off. That's what Murid and Tyrande Uther is really strong at.
Very true. They have great pick potential. They have Ragnaros and now Vala with Arsenal and Frost Shots for fantastic wave clear. They need to be able to make these happen, though, without getting caught out. But they also really want to curse. And they're one away from that, but they haven't been able to find the angle because, of course, the composition of Caffeinated Knights is incredibly focused around staying as a group. And that group rotation is what's catching out the members of Die Gaming right now.
Definitely. Another thing to look at is ETC isn't the tankiest tank in the world. He relies on his armor more than anything. So if you can catch him before he's got an ability up, it makes it really easy to just pick him off. It looks like we're going to go ahead and get back into the game right now. With the boss pushing in on that top keep, Die Gaming is just going to try and focus themselves onto getting that down.
Gotta be careful though. Root did land onto Gecko, but not caught out of position. Everyone plays far back. They play it safe, not going to get caught out of position, just defending that as best they can. Meantime, though, mid is getting bodied. We see Starfall, which will clear out the minions, actually, which is going to be a pretty clutch move, as that tower will do a little bit of damage to Zul. Force him to back out. Valor even with Frost Shots on the retreat to try and annoy him here. No level 20 yet, so right now talents are even, and that's the main idea here. As long as they can hold their keeps, Die Gaming is still very much in this game and can play safe enough to keep themselves in a nice position. As you can see, full retreat coming out here, Cam being taken on the left.
I like what they're doing, exactly what I said they need to do. Go ahead and pick up these camps. This tribute doesn't really matter. Nice scout from Hanzo, making sure they don't face check first into that bush. I will not be up for the interrupt, so that's just going to go free over to Caffeinated Knights as Die Gaming looks to pick up this bottom boss.
They picked that up, tribute exchanged for it, but they are rumbled. How fast can they clear this? They're a third of the way through. And you can see currently creeping their way in. Here comes Caffeinated Knights. Murid going to try and hold the line. He's going to eat, but the majority of the sun's just himself here. Boss abilities for multi-stun from Kira. Boss route. It's Uther who's trying to hold it. Rag is going to be killed off in the background. Maybe the Divine Storm will be able to turn it around. Here comes a great leap of faith onto Osmond to hold him through. But Zul taking out this chase. Boss stun will finish off Glitterbeard. And with that, a massive win. One more time. That was a 3 for 1 there. Gecko forced to back up. He has support with him though. And Hydra Hawk unable to get the cooldown reduction in time. Viven backing out, boss stolen, and Muradin, he pulled so many of those abilities, but it wasn't enough.
No, I don't think Tyrande was on him, so we lacked that extra healing. And then, of course, with all those stuns and all that lockdown, even a Muradin is going to go down. I'm kind of curious as to why they decided to take that boss, all 5 members. The team doesn't have the best boss clear, and Vala was actually late to that clear. So it's unclear to me if they're getting kind of panicked and deciding they need to make a big play, as this is going to be the second curse of the game going over to Caffeinated Knights.
Hydra Hawk all alone for this wave clear, and he's not a hero that's good at it. And level 20 on the other side is available. Mortal Wound, of course. Bullseye. Glyph of a second cleanse. Just get him out even more. Silent Killer here. Silences for another half a second. Multi-stun from Kira. Wombo combo. That's it. They're just picking them up every single time. Boss route. Unrelenting strikes. Vala, though, doing her best. She's really trying to clear this, but she can't finish anyone. Divine Storm comes out. Can they kill ETC?
Ragnaros gets the Molten Core, which I did not expect at all. He hung on for so long, and now this is going to be a nice protection from that boss and from this curse.
Grouping. We see again, Kira picks up another 2. Root comes out, and Uther will perish once again.
This could be the end of the game as Hydra Hawk is being chased down. Ragnaros is there, a stun onto ETC. The middle keep does go down, and now Ragnaros running for their life. That Harsh Moonlight going to stop a little bit of the damage of Hanzo, but this is a half-health boss. Only 3 members of the team protecting. Ragnaros, what are you doing, buddy?
He's trying anything he can to hold, but the boss is too healthy. that is going to be game number 1, going over to Caffeinated Knights. A little bit shaky in the early game, but an absolutely dominant mid to late game. Every single fight went in their favor, and they were able to take that pretty convincingly with the full combos. And a big part of that, a talent I want to point out here, is this one. Kira increased the stun duration of revolving sweeps reactivation by 0.25 seconds. And enemy heroes around the primary target are also affected by revolving sweeps reactivation. The idea of that is Kira, if the enemy team is grouped up around Kira's revolving swing target, which is exactly where you want to be to finish her off, they get caught by the stun as well. And we saw that used so many times. She caught so many people in the stun.
The engage was quick, easy, painless for Caffeinated Knights. Like you said, just booming kick into the ETC slide, into the Moss. They didn't get anybody. Then Hanzo was there to pick off the stragglers. And then, of course, the unrelenting strikes from Kira just finished the job. The dot over time. Damage over time, damage over time. I just realized. Doing a ton of work. And honestly, one unsung hero that I want to point out on the side of Caffeinated Knights team was the Anduin. I think that deserves a ban just because in the early game the team was getting really great solid picks for Die Gaming, and then Anduin would just yoink, no way.
Able to keep that under control. Very nicely done. 17-10. Thank you very much for the follow. And you could see at the end, they really wanted to end the game here, and they were just looking for one final fight. That Mortal Wound was 100% a team fight ender, same with the Silent Killer. But that Bullseye, 100% taken. They knew they were in control, didn't need map pressure or anything else like that. This was, I'm going to hit someone and to set up for all the stuns we've been doing, and that will win. Same with Bolt the Storm here. They're not trying to go for, we're going to mess up our stuns. They're going for, we are initiating them, so they didn't need the upgraded mosh pit, which I can't remember the name of.
Turbas.
Got it. Feels good. Thank you for the help as well. And they went for Glyph of Faith. Not entirely sure it was needed. They even used it just on ETC randomly in that last push. But it worked out in their favor, as it looks like we have our next map, ladies and gentlemen, which I will update for you in but a moment.
Alrighty, can I say it? Can I say it?
You can.
We're going to Shire, you guys. I think it's a great second map of the game. We might have a series on our hand with this one, as this one takes a little bit away from the 5v5 team fights and focuses more to the 1v1 in the solo lane, which we didn't see either team really have a standard solo laner. I think Kira was the closest to what we consider a solo lane.
I'd
say
so.
You need a solo laner on this map if you want to get the point. So we'll get to see the 1v1 coming out, and then also how well the teams can control the map, or the camps, not maps. You control the camps, you control the map, plain as.
You can also see what other maps we have had so far. This was a map choice by Die Gaming, by the way. As you can see, Team 2, oh, you guys can't see, Team 2, which is Caffeinated Knights, are getting first pick, first ban. So Die Gaming opting for map choice, despite being down here. They have picked every map so far. They took Curse, now they're taking Shire. You can see the maps that are banned out: Battlefield, Braxis, and then Sky and Tomb. Solid maps banned out, leaves us with some good options. The teams are ready, and it looks like we, ladies and gentlemen, are going to be heading into the draft. This is game number 2 between Die Gaming and Caffeinated Knights. Shire is the map, and we are getting underway.
With first pick going over to Caffeinated Knights, are we going to see an ETC ban? That was pretty dominant all game. Even in the early game, he ran in with 3 health, knocked a couple members out, and saved some of his teammates' lives.
Yeah. He was keeping his team from being snowballed in the early game, like you said, with his multi-man power slides. Would be a very, very solid ban from Die Gaming if they choose to do so. For now, though, Caffeinated Knights, they choose to stick with the same plan as last time. They remove that Diablo as the first ban.
And we'll see if we see the Ana Lucio once again, or if they're just going to say, you know what, Harborum can play really solid support. We saw it last game. The support pool is a little bit larger. Let's crunch that tank pool and see what we can't come up with.
Both solid options. Let's see. Neither of these teams prioritized Rhaegar at all. Rhaegar got a buff to his level 20 ancestral healing. Not a usual talent to be picked up in general, but it did get a buff. Ana going to be banned out, so far identical to last game.
It's really funny you talk about ancestral healing because my team and I, we were talking about that, and they were like, "Oh, you get 2 bloodlusts now, or not bloodlusts. You get 2 ancestrals now." And then our support player, Kyma Tripson, was like, "Yeah, but bloodlust." And Stark was like, "Yeah, but bloodlust." And then that was like the last of the discussion about it. Bloodlust is so strong right now.
Yeah, the double ancestral might be good if you don't have enough auto attackers, like if you have a very mage focused build, but it's still weird as we see Johanna taken out again. So far, completely identical. Last time we saw Lucio banned out. Do we see the same, or are we going to get a little bit of flexibility in
Lucio
these bans?
could make for really strong rotations on the map, just that extra move speed, so you can clear the minions between top and middle and bottom, excuse me, a little bit faster. Do we see it? Is Harborum a Lucio god? And it is going to be the ETC. They don't want to deal with that again.
So Lucio's let through. Who's also let through is Zool. Zool was another really big tool in that last game. So taking that away, not taking that away, means that Caffeinated Knights are going to pick it up. They ran full main tank Zool in that last game, and it was very, very effective.
This is an even better map for Zool anyway. Sonya picked up early. You typically don't see the solo laners so early in the game, but she is a very strong hero on the point, so I can understand why they'd pick it up.
The exception being Rexar on this map and Braxis, but he has not been prioritized by either of these teams so far. Hasn't appeared in any of the games. And there's Rhaegar. He finally makes it into a game.
Rhaegar Sonya is a super strong first draft pick collection, and I'm excited to see what they can do with that. I think this is a little bit stronger than their last game when they prioritized some kind of lower priority heroes, I think. So hopefully they can make something happen with these 2 really solid S tier picks.
Caffeinated Knights, they bring out the Greymane. They, of course, want to take that away from the Rhaegar composition, and they bring out Garrosh. How do you deal with the enemy team bloodlusting you? Well, you make them attack the tank. In this case, Garrosh going to be coming in with that, and with Zool as well. That is an incredibly beefy front line. They have good support to keep them alive. They might have the ability to turn it round, or a support to help disengage. Stukov, Deckard, the standard targets there. Even Lucio to a degree.
Garrosh Zool is also a really devastating combo, just in the fact that you have a point-and-click route for 2.5 seconds, and then just throw. I mean, you can just Indomitable and then throw, and the team is like, well, I hope, you know, we have cleanse up.
So Kira taken out. So far, they have very much targeted the massive stun heroes, the Caffeinated Knights, who so far don't have their support. So Anduin's still on the table if they want those multi-stuns. They could always light bomb Garrosh, feed with Anduin and into the fray. Leap of faith at Garrosh with the light bomb if they really wanted to meme. Vala taken out. She was good last game. She did have a very solid damage output, although I still disagree with that level 4. I think multi-shot build is just too strong, especially if your damage output is just Vala. You got to have that AoE.
I agree. I think that the Vala did well. I don't necessarily agree with the build as well, but I can understand why they would want to get rid of it. She did a lot of irritating damage, especially in the early game, and the Rain of Vengeance ultimate is very powerful.
Absolutely. We see Hanzo, though, stolen away this time, but Hanzo into Greymane and Anubarak into Greymane. Anubarak fantastic into Garrosh, of course. He's the second best hero into Garrosh outside of Johanna, because on the odd occasion, you can bait him into tossing a beetle. But Anubarak is a very low hit point tank, meaning heroes like Greymane, who ignore his spell shield, are able to blast through him very quickly. Hanzo has a similar issue, but they are both very good bloodlust targets, with Hanzo able to just ping quite a few arrows, and he's going to get some good multi-shots as well. But here we go. Stukov, as we call, disengage potential, and Deathwing. Deathwing, another hero with great disengage potential, the ability to just fear everyone who tries to hard engage. Very high hit point pool with currently very little percentage damage outside of Rhaegar level 16 and Hanzo level 16. So what is the last pick for Die Gaming? Do they need someone else percentage damage with both Deathwing and Garrosh on the board?
I wouldn't mind seeing somebody like a Malthael in the 4-man, but it is going to be Li Ming. Great poke for that middle altar. Nice poke for the shrines, and overall just high burst damage. Li Ming pairs really well into Garrosh just because she's able to chunk his health out before he gets that armor buff, and then you can just kind of keep shelling away at him. If he's full health, you can go ahead and knock him down, and then even though he'll have the armor later, it's not quite as effective.
There is also always the option to go Seeker Li Ming when you have a Deathwing on the enemy team and just use him for target practice, but it's not the best talent on any map that isn't Battlefield of Eternity. So, very strange drafts from the side of Caffeinated Knights, but it synergizes incredibly well, and it's going to be incredibly hard to kill anything. So much pressure is going to be on Hanzo this game.
All right, Galaxy brand play. Cannoneer Li Ming.
I mean, I wouldn't actually be surprised. It's really risen in priority lately, and that extra damage could be decent. We saw it quite a few times in EU during one of the other cups. We'll have to see. It's going to be heading into game number 2, ladies and gentlemen. On the left-hand side, Die Gaming looking to make their comeback here with Glitterbeard on a Nubarak. We have Gecko playing the Hanzo. That's just rude. We have Kazarus on the Rhaegar, Hydrohog on the Li Ming, and Shamuskan playing on the Sonya.
A little bit of a role swap there. I've just noticed we have Klacken on the Zool. The rest of the team is showing up. Osmanthus on the Garas. Vinche on that Greymane. Harborum on that Stukov. Once again, this is Caffeinated Knights. And Saiyan CP9 on that Deathwing. That's the Caffeinated Knights.
He's on the sky. He's in the sky. He was cheating. They were really trying to make it hard for us to do intros this time. We are all good. So, we have the Reactor Ballista Paws, defensive talents coming in from the Stukov, giving them better disengage potential. We have the Draconic Might. They don't want to deal with huge burst style coming out here. And Li Ming starting off with Force Armor for protection, Wolf Run, and Simple Geometry.
Deathwing dove middle. He's going to have to walk to the lane that he's going to, and it looks like he's actually heading to bottom instead. Do we see Zool in the off lane? Looks like we do. So, 4-man Deathwing. What are you looking to see, Tetcher?
So 4-man Deathwing, he really isn't adding too much other than preventing any hard engages here. He's really here just to stop anyone hard engaging his team, and the fact that he has insanely fast wave speed. You can see he's actually in range mode, so he has that stun available in case someone ganks his team. He's going to be able to try and stun them out and give them the disengage potential. That's really the main idea here, just the speed of wave clear.
We're seeing Li Ming and Nubarak already bullying Garage, like we were stating in the draft screen here. They're a little bit late to try and pick up these Siege Giants. Zool getting super bullied by Sonya, has to back up. We should see a tap here in just a moment.
He in fact backs all the way up. He's going to rotate to mid, getting the experience there first. For now, bot lane not being taken, but is being hovered. There's the toss, but they don't get the follow-up stun. Greymane damage isn't needed here, as we actually see Deathwing with the Koi Pond going to do enough damage to slow it down. So this will be a trade 1-for-1, as Sonya was left unattended up in top lane, and will finally re-meet up with Zool, unable to hit him. The skeleton interrupts there, so prevents the spear.
Seeing Zool do a little bit of double soaking, which I think is what has gotten the early level 4 for Caffeinated Knights. They're stepping up. We do miss our Garrosh stun, unfortunately. Stukov has the gate, while Stukov and Caffeinated Knights are just bullying Die Gaming in this early game.
The zoning potential we have here from Stukov and Deathwing combined is really a pain. Gates are going to be a horrible place to fight. Sonya, by the way, Hurricane coming in, as well as better baths from a Nubrak, where you got some souls here. Will we see that Cannoneer dominance, I think, would be good, but they're relying on killing Deathwing just a little bit harder. They're going to stick with Triumvirate. More standard here, great poke onto the objective.
Garage is just getting absolutely bullied. I've watched Stukov heal him up like 3 times, even popping the pustule, and he just keeps getting dunked on. He's in those bushes, so of course there's going to be a little bit of poke, but the big abilities are just hitting him.
Ignore that. You didn't see anything, team. I hit the wrong button. Klacken completely ignored. His bones might be clacking, but his brain is thinking as he's able to pick up the Dragon Knight because of an unfortunate misjudgment in where he was on the map by Glitterbeard. Nice cheeky pickup there by Caffeinated Knights.
And we're seeing that Dragon Knight go immediately bottom. The pings are coming out for the towers. They know the bottom lane is the one you want to dominate here on Shire. The whole team wrote down, save Sonya, who is stuck up top dealing with Deathwing.
We see the push coming in from the Dragon Knight. Going to grab both towers here. I don't think it'll get the fountain. There is a lot of damage coming out from Hanzo right now, doing a really good job on this defense. You can see he's already up to 10 stacks of Simple Geometry. Dragon Knight will push forward a little bit, and we do see the fountain being dropped low. But here comes some tower shots. He will get the fountain, but the Dragon Knight will be expired here. Not in the best position to pop out, but no one there to follow up on him, as everyone just retreats back.
A little bit of a knockback from the Dragon Knight expiring was just enough for Zool to get out, and the teams are just going to jump right back into their wave clear.
We're seeing Firestorm for Deathwing. Not going to see the Skyfall here. Deathwing's landing ability cooldown. When he lands, he drops those 7 meteors and reduces his Dragonflight cooldown. So the idea here is to just simply stay in the sky as long as possible. Just drop in and out of the sky, get those cooldowns going, and see what he can do.
Should be good. However, that means he is going to have to land in the middle of the team. We'll see. Sometimes that can be really detrimental. You land in the entire team, you get that bonus damage, but then they just kind of turn on you. I think Deathwing is a very strong and good pick, but I also think sometimes if you're not careful, he's basically just a big pinata. I say it all the time, but really what he is.
Sees Vengeance for the Li Ming. Toss onto Hanzo. Hanzo, front flip for style. He will escape here. And the camp will maybe not be taken. Actually, they're going to bring in everyone. But Deathwing, we're going to see that come out here. Huge damage, but he is all alone now. Armor's buying him some time, but he is being pinataed exactly like you said. But it's going to be in exchange for a Nubarak there as the Koi Pond will pick him off. Once again, second time that's able to get value.
Amazing reactions by Gecko, can I just say. He was able to jump over the wall and save his own life before Stukov even had a chance to drop that lurking arms. Excellent play by him, and Die Gaming find a little bit of respite as they go ahead and knock out that Deathwing. They are able to pick up the camp, so that will be pushing in the bottom. And now it looks like we might see a little bit. No, they're not going to commit to the invade.
Yeah, both teams just letting it go as level 10 is just around the corner. Neither one wants to get caught out beforehand and lose their opportunity to fight with level 10s. Orbs coming out from Hydra Hawk, really doing as much damage as possible as Gecko continues to ping away onto Harbour Rim. As level 10 hit a little bit earlier for Caffeinated Knights here, as was to be expected here. Cursed Bullet, Flailing Swipe. Of course, that Bellowing Roar going to be a big deal here. All of Challenger Skeletal Mages more standard.
And it's just a moment before Die Gaming gets their level 10s. However, that does mean they aren't able to step up onto this point just yet. They have to retreat back to their fort. And this is an Orb build Disintegrate Li Ming, I'd just like to point out, which we see right now.
We see the Dragon Arrow come out to try and save the day here. Definitely gets the Brave. Kazarus is in full retreat. It's already a 1-for-1 as we did see Gareth sniped as well. But oh dear, Rhaegar, can he sneak away? Tower shot and slapped by the Stukov. Able to finish him off, making that a 2-for-1. Hydra Hawk backs up. They didn't really touch Deathwing, so he still has full health. He still has very high health and full armor plates.
4 puppers. However, Li Ming will have all of her abilities on cooldown as she was able to, a little bit of a buffer, was able to get that reset. And Locust Swarm, I see what you're saying, Tetcher, popped for the Anubarak.
I mean, I get why he wants to be stuck in and tank for his team, and he is not a huge heavy hitter tank. He's got to survive, but it's not the best stun. However, it does heal, and it's not just heroes, it's enemies hit, so it will benefit from the skeletons and the skeletal mages here. Torn onto him. He's going to use it. He did use it. Will it save him? He does live. I'm going to count that as a save. That's a value.
He popped his ultimate and he lives. It's the best you can ask for when being in a Locust Swarm and Nubarak. I understand, like you were saying, why you didn't go for the cocoon. You can't cocoon the Deathwing, but somebody like the Stukov or the Greymane, there isn't a huge amount of damage on the side of Caffeinated Knights if the Greymane is taken out of the fight. And besides Koi Pond, there isn't really large burst for that cocoon.
Very much true. Very much true. Very much true as Gecko once again saved his own life. We're going to see Kalkin holding the line for the moment. Going to be hit by the root. Just tanks it. Nothing can really be done here. It's going to be up to Glitterbeard to defend this. Holding the line for the moment as Kazarus does some pretty good damage to Deathwing. Nicely done, and Li Ming's not in the best spot.
Is behind her fort, however, going to get a little bit of damage right there onto Stukov and Greymane. Oh no, NA arrow!
Nicely done with the Into the Fray to stop that. Here comes Deathwing. Meteor's dropping down. Glitterbeard focused and blasted there. And that's the issue. He's the only front line. Sonya nowhere near here enough to help as Cataclysm comes out. Bellowing Roar comes out, but all it does is continue Gecko running in the exact same direction he already was.
Big ultimates burned everything except for skeletal mages on the side of Caffeinated Knights. Now, Die Gaming can take advantage of this. They still have the Bloodlust, they have their Wrath of the Berserker, and the Incinerate is back up. Once they hit 13, which will be here in just a moment, they could look to take a fight on this bottom lane.
13 very soon available, and you can see Li Ming. She's sending out the orbs at near max range, but they're not doing enough damage at this stage yet. This might have to honestly be a glass cannon game. They're short on natural kill potential here. Nice seeing the tidal waves here. This is exactly what we should be seeing on a Bloodlust Rhaegar, especially in a comp like this. Going to be seeing the no escape for Sonya. Really wants that chase potential. Root comes out. No real follow-up, but they're looking for it, looking for Kalkin. Here come the Skeletal Mages, but this time they got him.
Nicely done. And you know, I wouldn't actually hate Glass Cannon for Li Ming. She's been playing incredibly safe. I don't believe she has died yet. She's been staying really safe. Yep, 0 deaths on Li Ming in the back line. The damage isn't being too pressured. So if we see Glass Cannon, which it looks like they might be considering, I don't think that would be so negative.
Seeing a lot of pressure onto Saiyan up here. Gecko just meleeing him because he can. Gonna not pick off the last armor plate. But they do get a fort. Fort for a fort here, and they prevented the Dragonite being taken over. In the meantime, though, Bruiser Camp and Siege Giant Camp about to be pushing the bottom blade of Die Gaming as Caffeinated Knights take more control over the map.
Bruiser Camp picked up in the top lane by Die Gaming. That'll help them a little bit to maintain their top lane control. Sonya in the middle, just doing incredible work this game. Shamiskin is doing a really great job, and as I say that, they get rooted. NCC gets thrown by Garrosh, but a fantastic Dragon Arrow, a little bit of Bloodlust, and the Whirlwind saves his life as he's going to back up. Dragon Knight is, for the moment, in control by Caffeinated Knights, but with Garrosh picked off, I'm not sure they can step up to this.
That Dragon, we do see the glass cannon, by the way, but that Dragon Arrow 100% saved the day. It gave Sonya a second of Whirlwinding for just enough health to save the day and live through that fight. They're looking for Zul here. This time, no, though, and they might be in trouble as Kazaros gonna be taken out here. Great rotation by Caffeinated Knights, shutting down the momentum that was just gained by Die Gaming.
Support taken out is really difficult to come back from. However, Garrosh is just now respawning. Dragon Knight does go over to Caffeinated Knights. We'll see what they can do with this. Looks like they're heading back down. Maybe to take the keep. I don't think that this is necessarily the correct play. They do have level 16, but pushing so far into the enemy team's territory at 11 minutes in the game is really risky.
It really, really is, but they're going to try it anyway. We finally have level 16 hit, though. Arcane Orbit and Debilitation coming in for the Anubarak here. Really going for that extra sustain. Piercing Arrows. No percentage damage coming in for the Hanzo at all. Just believing in his pick-off potential. As we see a great virulent reaction onto Li Ming. Punt finishes the job. Feels bad. Sonya trying to tank with that toughest nails. Trying to tank the damage, but is forced out. Stun's good. Fear's good, and they pick up yet another kill.
Keep is still relatively healthy. However, the Dragon Knight is not. 3 members taken off of the side of Die Gaming. This keep should go down as we see the Deathwing Molten Flame coming on. Kazares having to run for their life, but now they are in core range. That big stun and the 5% or negative 75% armor. I can't remember exactly what this core does. We're looking to see them end. Can they do it? Death timers are still incredibly low.
They're holding. The shield is down, and Noob comes in for the debilitation, but the throw onto Rhaegar takes him out. That is gonna be it as Caffeinated Knights roll through this game. Mossy Man stunned by the core at the end, but they roll through, the Deathwing tanking it out in the end. And they take the 2-0 in this best-of-3 series and win the series as a whole.
Nicely done by the Caffeinated Knights. Knew exactly what they wanted to do. And I think what it really came down to is just, once again, not really being able to deal with the CC of Caffeinated Knights. And then that extra added oomph of the Deathwing not being able to be CC'd. It was just too much for poor Die Gaming.
Absolutely, you can really see that reflected in the damage. Li Ming with 40,000, Hanzo with 33, and Sonya, she did a fantastic job trying to hold it together, but it was never enough in this case. Only an extra 20,000 here, whereas all the damage on the side of Caffeinated Knights really came from Deathwing and a little bit from Zool, because every single time they got a kill, they finished the job. They were always able to just go in and get the quick blow up, which is why Greymane has all their damage. It's a bit more spread out here. Obviously, Li Ming got a good amount of AoE, but they never able to really finish the job, like we said, with 1 and 2 kills. Sorry, 1 and 2 kills.
Let's take a look here at the talents. I want to see. We did see the Cleanse come out and the Bloodlust from Rhaegar. We didn't get to see them too terribly much. Unfortunately, I don't know if it was just because the you don't want to message that team. You want to message the other one.
I do. You are correct. I'm a silly boy. Yeah, sorry, continue. I'll get this sorted.
I wasn't sure if it was just because Rhaegar was so heavily targeted, which made it very difficult for him to get his abilities off, or if it was just one of those things where, you know, you need to save it because there's so much on the team. Do you save it for the Root? Do you save it for the Deathwing? Do you save it for the Stuka or the Garrosh? A lot to pick from. What do you pick for? It can be really difficult as a support player.
All right, looks like we will have an interview. It will be with Vivanche. And I'm just letting them know the room that we will jump into, as I will jump back to us in the meantime while I get that set up.
Your boy already
He's
in
already
the
there.
chat.
Damn. Beat us to it. Ladies and gentlemen, we're joined by the winner of this series. It is Vivanche. How you doing, buddy?
Doing well, man. How are you?
Also good. Those games were very fun. Looked a little shaky at the start of game number 1, but after the start of that, it didn't really look like there was too much hesitation from you guys. Just absolutely incredible victories.
Thank you. At the beginning there, we were kind of just distracted, and then right after, we just put our game face on. We were like, okay, let's do this.
Makes sense to me. So let's talk about the start there. So you went up against a less than conventional draft with a Creed of the Hunter Valor with an Uther Tyrande Stunlock. And you guys nearly got caught out a couple times there. What is the thought process going in there? Because a lot of the saves was from Osman keeping you guys alive with some great power sides, and there was a lot of work from the Anduin, but you guys nearly got caught out a lot of times. So how did that really feel to you, and how did you turn that round in your favor?
Well, a lot of it was a lot of being able to escape because of our tank healer, but also we all had escapes or engages, so we were able to possibly counter-engage in those situations, or even outmaneuver them, because they were not that mobile except for weirdly Vala, right?
Yeah.
And if we ignored her damage, then we were pretty much safe. And I think a lot of it was down to gameplay and positioning for both teams. So there were a few things wrong with their draft. For one, they didn't have that much macro clear for that. They went double healer, yeah,
wave,
true.
and that was about it.
They had Lava Wave, which was not that great. If they did a double, a 2-lane map, then they might have been able to pull it off, like Braxis. That would probably be the best one, because they have the sustain in order to keep on the point and bully them. And then Ragnaros to help with that wave or clear the Zerg. I feel like that could have been their best map.
Yeah. Which is weird, because they banned both 2-lane maps.
Yeah, it's strange. So, but they did do as well as expected for 1 DPS. It was hard for them. It was tough going in, because in competitive it's kind of hard doing that. If they wanted double healer, then they could have had Uther maintain, or it was rough going in for her.
Definitely. So talking about your guys' comp a little bit, you guys had stun after stun after stun after stun. Huge wombo combo. Is that a team comp that you guys have practiced in the past, or was it something that just kind of felt right? Because all the way up to level 20, when you picked the bullseye on the Hanzo, and I was like, don't they have enough stuns already?
Oh, bullseye OP. But anyway, we didn't actually play with the Kira pick. We actually had an emergency sub today.
Oh.
Okay.
So the Zool was our emergency sub. We were like, we're going to stick him in the off lane. That's what he does best. We were actually panicking because about an hour and 10 minutes before the game, we were like, how are we going to get a sub?
Oh, no.
So that was Kalkin?
Like, right then, we got a sub, and then we were able to get it just in the nick of time, which, a bit of panic, you know.
Right.
A bit of sweat wiped off our brow.
I mean, let's be honest. If you can get a hero main in as a sub, any hero, Zul's a pretty good choice. He's really, even with all the nerfs, he still works, and in these games especially, was very strong and worked with both the comps you ran.
Well, he works in most comps, really. We basically revolved around double soaking in that one, which is Zul's biggest strength, being able to clear the wave and push it up there.
Right.
They did pick Sonya the second game, which does counter Zul, but our 4-man was winning too hard for them to do anything.
That's fair. Also, just quickly, I saw Kalkin in the chat. Nice to see you. Thanks for the follow. Well done in the game. Sorry for calling you Clacken earlier. I saw the bones and I misread the name. So let's jump to game number 2 here, and you guys ran a very different comp, a lot less crowd control, but you had an immense amount of beefiness at the front, and Saiyan a lot of the times looked like he bit off more than he can chew, but most of the time seemed to get out of there. So what was the rotation style, what was the strategy with that particular comp? Because you seem to swap very rapidly between macro and hyper aggression.
So with that, we wanted to make sure that we can. So we did do the double soaking Zul strategy, right? But we had Sonya bullying Zul, so whenever we could, we sent Deathwing to mid to catch that soak, which you saw.
Yeah.
But whenever we came back in, we were able to push in the lane really hard, and after we pushed in the lane, we were able to split off and do macro stuff, and push it in even further. So it was more like a snowball effect that we really had going in there. Once the first team fight won, we basically just camp after camp after camp, and basically kept our lead.
So I had a quick question about the Deathwing. I don't know if you can answer this. This is probably more of a Saiyan question, as he's the one who played it. But we saw Firestorm coming in there, which is a little bit less common. We a lot of times see the Skyfall. Sometimes we see the spell power reduction. This is the first time I personally have seen Skyfall, so I wanted to ask if we could get any insight into that.
I do not play Deathwing.
Fair enough.
I have not played Deathwing at all. Him and Lost Vikings, never played, never will.
Fair enough.
Being Kira.
But it might be just the Skyfall one was where meteors drop, right?
Skyfall is the single
When you fall?
meteors, Firestorm is the multi-meteors, which is what you did go for, and then the normal one is the Z cooldown reduction, yeah. And then there's
I feel like
the last one is the
that
spell
one
power.
was more for the aggressive engages and plays, because once you land, you just get that extra DPS in there, and it's really the scare tactic too, kind of. I feel like it was more like he's going to be jumping on people every time that he lands.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we just
why
saw
not add some damage?
Just will say it in the chat, more mobility for map pressure, and yeah, Z cooldown reduction. All right, good to know. Thank you, Saiyan. Jixie, you got any questions?
I don't have any questions for the second map. I wanted to know if you had any shout-outs that you'd like to give, anybody you'd like to call out. You guys are doing pretty well in DFB West right now, so the floor is yours with reserves, of course. It me, El Presidente Espacio. Thank you for the follow.
I didn't realize those were on. That was a follow for Jixie's stream.
Of course, we want to thank you guys for casting, but we also want to thank everyone who's watching, because it's the support of you that keeps NGS rolling and
Hell
keeps
yeah.
the competitive aspect of it really fun. So,
Definitely.
All right, sounds good. So, before we finish you, before we send you off, do you know who you're up against next? Who else on the table? Is there anyone you're looking forward to playing in the playoffs? Maybe a rematch, maybe a revenge match. Who are you excited to see up against?
we are going to be we're scheduling a match right now against Avalanche, which is the dark horse of the Div B West, which I'm excited about. We don't know what they're going to be doing, what we're going to be doing. It's going to be a fun match. We are also really looking forward to facing against Arrogant Nephilim again. They were a really tough team. They gave us a run for our money, and it was fun. But I think that every team in Div B West is fun team to battle, and we're just cruising and having fun along the way.
All right, sounds good. Well, once again, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for the amazing match, and we hope to catch your games in the future.
Have a great rest of your evening. Thanks so much for taking your time to chat with us.
No problem. Thank you guys for casting, and hopefully you can cast again for us.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
very much hope so. All right. See you later, buddy.
Take care.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Short series. That's it from us for this series. We're going to find someone to raid.
You want to call out your follower?
Absolutely. We saw Saiyan, gave him the thumbs up earlier, but thank you very much, Saiyan and Kalkid, for your follows. Played really well, so very much appreciated. We're gonna send the raid over somewhere. I'll work that out as we go. But just want to tell everyone, thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed, while I don't look at the camera and sort this out, if you have enjoyed, maybe consider dropping a subscription or a donation or something like that to help support the casts we are doing here. You need to check out Jinxeekatt's stream because we sometimes cast on her stream as well. We'll jump back and forth.
Tomorrow.
We will. We'll be doing that. We'll be casting there tomorrow. Normally, I play Dungeons and Dragons on Mondays, but in this case, that game is cancelled due to we had some internet issues earlier. But they are fixed, so the cast tomorrow is going ahead as planned, so all good. But keep an eye out. There's D&D on my channel on Mondays, D&D on Jinxie channel on Saturdays, Heroes on those channels all the time, including some lovely Div A East games coming in from Jinxeekatt and the Gilly Sharks team she plays for. So keep an eye out for that. So you should follow that stream. And of course, follow me. I play Heroes sometimes. I cast Heroes as best I can. Keep an eye out for me on Tuesday, casting Heroes on a channel that is at this one. So follow me on Twitter to find out more information about that. And follow Jinxie on Twitter to find out even more information. Feels good.
Why don't we say, let's see, who could we? Oh, there's an NGS cast happening right now for the Crushinator.
I'm just checking quickly because I see a score. I'm checking to see if it's over. Because I saw there was a 1 on it.
Oh, no, ads.
I'm checking to see if it is over. In the meantime, let's duplicate that tab so that we can go and search for
Otherwise,
others
we could
just in
do
case.
Tiger JK
Ooh,
because
like
I
Tiger JK.
love them.
Same. Okay, so we have that one still going. Oh, hang on. Is that already finished?
Are you casting?
Nope, it's over.
Oh, Ripperoni. Next time, Crush. You don't think you're allowed to say that on an NGS stream?
I'm not allowed to say where I'm casting, no. This is why I say the channel that isn't this one, and follow me on Twitter to find more about it. So they have rules. Untitled broadcast. That's suspicious. You can't see it on the screen, unfortunately, but there was a very suspicious tab there. Let's go ahead and do...
Oh, Hydra Hawk.
Yeah, he was just in this game. And it looks like he's still playing. So yeah, let's just do one of the players from this game. That makes sense to me.
Sure thing.
We'll get Tiger JK
Ghost
next
Bear, to
time.
answer your question, we can't say yes and we can't say where it is. But if you looked at your question and it was the opposite of no, that would be your answer.
Yes, absolutely. Feels good. D-Hots is casting. Where's D-Hots? Did we miss that? There's D-Hots, and they are in a game that's just started. Okay, sorry, Hydra Hawk. We are trying to keep it within the NGS love, so we'll send you guys over to D-Hots. Thank you for the call out there, Corvix. Feels good. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. We're going to head off and enjoy the rest of our evening. We're going to hopefully watch some wrestling. If the VOD's already up, we'll see. But for now, hope you've all had a lovely time. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you all next time.
Bye, guys. Thanks
Good
so much
night.
for hanging out. We love you.